So it's now out in the open more than ever about how people at Lucasfilm actually feel about canon, something being canon. So this started off with a whole thing to do with Boba Fett's Slave One, where it seems as though Disney have changed the name to Boba Fett's Starship, because that's so much better. Because the term slave is so problematic, isn't it? Even though it still happens. But anyway, it started off with that, so people were obviously giving their takes on it. So we go for a bit of this, and then there was just something else I wanted to talk about to do with the Acolyte from Leslie Headland. But let's get into this one. Reacting to the news reports about Slave One, Tricia Barr, who wrote Ultimate Star Wars and Star Wars The Visual Encyclopedia, took to Twitter to take issue with Star Wars canon while also expressing her support for the removal of Slave One. So this is the tweet that she put out. I will say it again, because it's canon is the single biggest obstacle against writing the course of representation and inclusion. I'm so tired of those terms. Every time I hear someone say them, or if I see them, it's just eye roll. My eye roll back into my bloody skull. And what I want to say, how is it an obstacle? I don't understand. Go and make your own. Do you not know how to do that? Have you not got the creative capabilities to do that? And again, this is someone that's just angry because they can't twist something to their perverted ideology. That's what it is. And it's like, well, see if you really cared about that. You'd come up with your own idea, create your own entire world, galaxy, whatever, but they won't do that. Because these types, what they do is they infiltrate. They just infiltrate and take over and change shit. That's who these people are. They're not there because they love Star Wars. They're there because they need to push their shit into it. And what I don't seem to understand, there was loads of different people in the original Star Wars. You had Asians, you had black people, white people, you had women. So I don't know what the fuck they're talking about, really. But they despise the fact that fans actually care about what is canon and what isn't canon. They hate you, is what it is. They hate people that care about that. Because they can't accept that the person that created it the way they did. But now we're not happy because we can't do what we want to do with it. It's like you can go and create your own, but you won't do that. Because this is just about infiltration. It's about taking away. And then the second part she said was, slave anything as a marketing ploy in Star Wars is inappropriate. I heard a while ago that was the franchise's position now, as it should be. Slave? What the word slave? What is wrong with the word slave? The other problem with slave is if you have a slave. Other than that, just saying the word slave, what's wrong with that? So people that are slaves now ain't going to get the help they need because you're too scared to say fucking slave. It's like Boba Fett is the villain. That's probably why his ship's called Slave One. I think it was to do because he was a bounty hunter. But again, just because Disney or whatever changed the name of something, they don't change the name of it because they didn't create it so they can piss off. But yeah, I'm definitely starting to see them more coming out. They hate when you say because it's canon. And as I said, go and create your own. But you won't do it because you can't do it. Well, but these people keep saying, oh, representation, inclusion. I'm just, oh, shut up. Just shut up and fucking go and yell at traffic or something. I don't care. But yeah, I don't know what their problem is. There was always different types of people there, even in the original trilogy. So saying because it's that's not an obstacle. It's like, see if you don't like what Star Wars already is. Why are you there? Why are you there? Because it's probably not about... She probably doesn't love Star Wars. She loves Star Wars in the fact that I can manipulate it to my will. But again, there is no obstacle. At the end of the day, do we really care what Disney do with Star Wars at this point? I'd say everything's canon up until Disney fucked it. That's probably as far as canon goes. Disney canon probably isn't canon to most like Star Wars fans. Like, I mean, actual Star Wars fans. I don't really think anyone's saying because it's canon at you anymore. Because most people are done with Star Wars, really, aren't they? Unless Disney changed their shit, there's not really any need for me to go back to Star Wars. I definitely loved it all as a kid. But let's get to this second article I just wanted to take a look at. The Acolyte showrunner explains how the Phantom Menace influences the series. So let's go and have a look at what she had to say just down the page. So she says, "What I can say is the reason it did appeal to me personally is that I was 18 when Phantom Menace came out, and I was a very, very big Star Wars fan. Sure you were. I remain a big Star Wars fan, but at that particular time, right after the re-releases and the fact that I was in high school, it just kind of all coincided at a time where I was discovering who I was sexually." Again, see this woman. See, whenever she speaks about something, almost every second sentence is to do with her sexuality. Everything gets turned into because my sexuality, and then I did this because my sexuality. I think what she's trying to use that to stop criticism. That's what it is. It's like we'll still criticize you. We don't give a shit what your sexuality is. I was discovering who I was artistically, setting up appointments with Harvey Weinstein. I was kind of realizing what I wanted to do with my life. And then this big, huge movie event, cultural event happened. That was the Phantom Menace. So she's using the Phantom Menace is probably the worst one, I would say. I loved it when I was a kid, but when you watch it later on, it doesn't hold up. It's like a lot of the stuff in there could have been done in half an hour. So I would say that the Phantom Menace was probably the worst one. So I don't know why she's using that for inspiration. There was parts of it that were good, but it's not the one I would go take influence from that, because it wasn't really fuck all that happened. It was more of just a 2-hour intro, wasn't it? To me personally, anyway. But why she keeps bringing her sexuality into it, it's crazy. Because I did a recent video where we were going through some of the stuff for it, and almost every other sentence was my oh, I'm queer, I'm this, it's like nobody cares. Literally nobody cares. Get over yourself. Don't flatter yourself. No one gives a shit. Your Star Wars show is going to fail, and you're going to receive criticism if you're queer or not. But they try and use their sexuality as a shield. So she goes on, "I know there were varying reactions to it, and certainly there were a lot of people that had grown up with the original trilogy who were disappointed by it. But I actually was very intrigued by why George Lucas had started us at that particular point. What, you didn't know why he started at that point? Alright. I kind of wondered, but what happened to lead up to this? That's kind of where my Star Wars fan brain went. Was like, how did we get here? And why are the Jedi like this? When they are in power, why are they acting this way? And how is it that they're not having the reaction that you would think they would to Anakin's presence? And what Qui-Gon Jinn is saying about how passionately he feels about training him and bringing him into the fold. It's like even the discovery of Darth Maul is kind of met with like this interesting kind of feeling. So I just think for me, my brain has always buzzed around that area and wondered what's going on here or what has been going on here. But again, why she's using the Phantom Menace is like, oh. And if you want to know some details I went over in my first Star Wars video I done, Well, what is it? They've the lead is a a female person of color, fucking queer or something. I don't know, something like that. You know, because Leslie Headland's that, she's got to make her main character that as well, because she's making this show for her own selfish ideas. As she's making this show for herself. She's not making it for fans. She's not making it for entertainment. She's making it for lecturing, for pushing their shitty ideology, as per usual. It's like, who the fuck's gonna watch it? You know, The Mandalorian was alright, but it wasn't that great. And this Acolyte sounds terrible from the get-go. But like I said, you can go and check out my video from, I think it was last week or something like that, where there's been quite a lot of stuff that's come out. It's like, oh, this sounds terrible. But yeah, it was just those couple of things I wanted to talk about. So if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.